behind that, there's just a lot going on, a lot happening on another side. About 4 weeks ago, I didn't fall out of an aeroplane, I was pushed. And I think at that time, I thought I just missed the trampoline.
We know that you're wanting to be funny, but you were not pushed.
At that time,
We
felt like it.
We know, but you want to take credit for your own point of attraction and don't blame others for what's happening to you,
Okay.
because nobody's doing anything to you. They're just
true.
cooperative components.
Completely understand.
Cooperative components helping you to live out the vibration that you got going on. Because otherwise, if you really believe that someone else has control over what happens to you, then what's the point? Pleasing them seems to be the point. But they're so fickle. They're so fickle and irrational and inconsistent. And it's such a flawed premise, you see.
That's exactly where I'm getting to with my story, is that over time, in this short time, I've realized that I did actually get the trampoline, and more and more it's unfolding. I realize that I'm bouncing so high that even though it's a rainy day, my head's getting above the clouds, and I see the sun, and I'm getting to see it more and more. And it's more, I didn't really have a question, but more an idea that I wanted to say is that with how everything's unfolded, I'm realizing that I am the center of the storm. I'm in the eye of the storm.
But let's not call it a storm. Let's call it the point of attraction. Let's call it, you are at the center of your point of attraction, and how you feel is the reason for whether it's stormy or not, whether it's wonderful or good feeling or bad feeling.
Right now, that eye of the storm is really calm.
So if we could convince you that you have control over that center, no matter what's going on in terms of conditions around, if we could convince you of that, the conditions would morph to match the improved feeling. The law says it has to, you see. So what's the holdup?
I'm not really sure.
Law of attraction, practiced thought. You're not going to stop all of a sudden. You see, law of attraction is your best friend in every sense, but especially in the sense that it is utterly consistent. It reflects back to you how you're doing, which gives you opportunities to modify it if it doesn't feel good. It also is giving you, in other words, let's start at another place. So you get the picture of this vibrational reality that is full of all of the things that you want. It is a reality that is in the process of manifesting. It is a reality that is in the process of being thoughts that become things. The speed with which these thoughts become things is all about what you are doing in terms of the way you feel. So as you begin to approach life more about caring about how you feel apart from conditions, rather than letting the conditions control how you feel. Esther's been having the most wonderful time filling book after book after book as a condition will occur and she will write, this sucky condition is such and such. This unwanted condition, she'll lay it out just like it is. This condition that I do not want has these components. And then she will write another paragraph. And if that condition would change right now, I would feel these ways. So then she just starts writing how she would feel if the condition were different. And within a minute or two or three, she feels those feelings even though the condition has not changed at all, which is the freedom that you're all looking for, you see. Not needing something to be different, not needing anything to be different. Being able to find the vibration regardless of the condition and maintain it long enough that the condition has to morph to the essence of the vibration that you've established. That's what true deliberate creation is. And that's what the source within you is doing all the time. Don't you think it's lovely how we all fit together? Don't you think it's a nice thing that source energy remains non-physically focused and knows all that you've become, and holds the vibrational frequency of that, knows the love that you are, knows the clarity that you are, knows the worthiness that you are, knows the potential that you are, knows the capability that you are, knows the love that you are, knows the well-being that you are, knows that, knows that, knows that, knows that, and doesn't allow itself to know anything other than that, knows that, like keeping the light on for you. And because Source knows that so clearly about you, when you deviate from it, you feel the discord. You feel the absence of resonance. So then most humans, when they feel that discord, they scramble around trying to change the conditions so that they can feel better. But it's so fleeting, and it's so difficult, and it's so not permanent. But when you discover that you can change the way you feel, that you can find the way Source feels about that, then you begin to understand how creation really works. You start with the essence of something, and then it fills in around it. You see, you're going to hear this right now because you're right on the brink of it. And we're going to say it to you in a way that you have not heard us say it before. Feel this. Feel the difference between somehow achieving that good feeling vibrational essence and then realizing something as compared to needing to see it the way that you need it to be in order to feel good. Can you feel the control that you can garner in that? Can you feel the power of that? Do you feel it? You got to practice it a little bit to really own it yourself. But think of the alternative. The alternative is, when I see that, I don't like it, but I don't have the power to change that, because if it were my children, I would just boss them around to a certain point. But then they reach the age where even that doesn't help. Or if they were my employees, I could threaten them with things that they don't like. And that works for a little while, but after a while, that doesn't even work. Or if they were almost anyone, I could try to control their behavior for a little while, but after a while, the stakes just get higher and higher and higher. You give up your freedom as you try to control the others, you see. And so instead of needing the condition to change, if you can change the way you feel, whether the condition changes or not, now you've come back into your power. Now there's no contradiction in your own vibration. Now you are streaming Source. One who's connected to that stream is more powerful than millions who are not. It is never what someone else does that defeats you. It's never what someone else does that weakens you. It's only your own cross current, which you give a whole lot of them credit for, because if they just weren't doing that, you wouldn't have that cross current. If you'd be different, I'd feel better. If you'd be different, then I would be in my power. And we say, you got to find it, whether they're different or not. And when you do, they cannot abide in that difference in your vibration. See how it works?
I found that. I definitely have found that. And it's very recent, so my focus keeps getting distracted.
Talk about something specific. Let's talk about something that you're living.
Okay. I'm just started going through a divorce, so right now my kids are being affected.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be really tough for them. Now they're going to have a real close-up opportunity to see the way two people offer vibration and get real life experience in what points of attraction really are. Their life has just become clearer and less distorted than it has ever been before. And they are now in a position where they will live less conditional lives, and they will find their true power much faster.
Even though it's stormy now.
You wanted to feather their nest in such a way that there were never any conditions that would cause them anything that they had to adjust to. And then they're going to go out in the real world all feathered up, not prepared for anything. Now they have an opportunity to find out what their point of attraction really is. Now you're giving them an opportunity to understand that you're taking control of the way you feel, that you're no longer blaming someone else for how you feel, that you're loving unconditionally their father, loving unconditionally. There's no greater gift that you could give them, and there will never be an opportunity more pointed to cause you to want to do that, you see. You don't want to blame someone for the way you feel. Divorce is the ultimate it's the example that most are using, where they say, oh yeah, if you'd be different, I'd feel better, but since you're not going to be different, then I'm going to take myself somewhere else. Yeah, but you take yourself with you everywhere you go. You took yourself over there. They didn't come. Nothing changes for you. Different places, different faces, but to stand right in the middle of that and love anyway. Oh, is there anything better that you could give to your children? And can't you see that your divorce may very well have been in their vortex?
Sure.
I want to be clear. I want to be sure. I want to know who I am. I want to be dependent upon my parents to get everything just right so that all I have to do is just observe the conditions and feel good. Because if I've got parents that just present everything in exactly the right way and all I have to do is just observe those conditions and feel good, then I'm going to be with them for a very long time. Because when I get out in the world, there'll be conditions that are different and I won't be able to cope with that. But if my parents have demonstrated their alignment anyway, they're not holding each other and they're not holding us hostage. They're not holding us responsible for the way they feel. That's true parenting. That's parenting through the eyes of Source.
It's an amazing relief. And I think that giving up of the control of just knowing that
Might as well give it up. You can't control it. We love it when you come to that inevitable awareness that you can't control it. In other words, unconditional living, unconditional alignment really comes in the awareness that you can't control this stuff you've been trying to control. No wonder you feel relief about it. You were not meant to control it. You were not meant to control it. You can't control it. But what can you control? What can you control?
Myself and the
What
way
do you
I
mean?
feel.
The way you feel.
Absolutely.
And how do you control the way you feel?
Focus.
By caring about how you feel, and by gently focusing, by just finding a little bit of it there, and a little bit of it there, and a little bit of it there.
I'm realizing that I want more from life. I want to feel love. I want to feel emotionally connected to
I
someone.
want to be who I naturally am. I want to feel what Source feels. So you just have lots of opportunities to sort that out. And Source never gets irritated and says, come on, we've been focusing this way for a long time. When are you going to get with it? That's your mother saying that. That's your mother. Source just stays there steadily, holding the frequency until you find it. And the more you find it, then it gains momentum until you own it. And then it's just easy to do it, isn't it? Yeah. Enough?
Yes, thank you.